It's that season, and it's spooky story time. It's the spooky season. Definitely my kind of season. I love being in costume. I love cosplaying, but I haven't done much of that this month. Usually I find any excuse to dress up. I try to use this to like channel some of that here, but I got lazy. I figured since it was the spooky season, maybe I'd share a few spooky tales of my own. Hi, my name is Nana Kay. I'm the creator of the Resonant Voice Collection, and in the spirit of storytelling, I will say that I haven't had many paranormal encounters. I've had spiritual encounters, but not like ghosts or anything like that, at least to my knowledge. I am going to share a few things of mine. Again, not all of them will be paranormal. I figured I'd just share like three stories. One that is somewhat supernatural, another that is just kind of creepy, and then another one that kind of gives the slasher horror vibes. I guess we can start with, let's start with a kind of creepy one. I was in college at the time. I think I was in it was either second semester junior year or first semester of senior year. They were doing a showing of The Conjuring at my college, and I, of course, wanted to go. I was also an RA on campus, and I had what is known as RA duty, where you have to be in the building by a certain time to do rounds and make sure people aren't acting up. I had that same night, and I couldn't find anyone to switch with me, so I knew at some point I would have to go back to the building, but luckily, the showing was at a time where I was at least able to be out of the building and go and attend. And I went with a few friends. And also, an interesting thing about this, which made me want to go all the more, was that Lorraine Warren, and I'm sure at this point a lot of people know who Lorraine Warren is. And Lorraine, ever since The Conjuring came out, they've pretty much gone to be household names, but she came to our campus and I wanted to see her. Of course, this was well after Ed had passed. You know, we watched The Conjuring. It was set up in our student center. We watched it. It was great. I didn't get to. I got to stick around for a few questions people had for Lorraine, but I didn't get to stick around for everything. So as I was going back to my dorm, it was an interesting eeriness to the night where there's like a purple sky and it was misty on the grounds, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is, I mean, I was partly excited, but also I'm walking back to my dorm alone. And just to make sure those of you out there are not like, oh Nana, why are you walking back alone? It was only like what, 3 minutes away, 3 4 minutes away from the student center. Like I could see it directly right out my window, so it's not like it was far. But I was walking back at night and I just remember thinking, oh wow, this is a little too coincidental. So of course I don't get scared easily when it comes to these things because I have a way of compartmentalizing like scary movies. It doesn't really affect me. I don't get nightmares from them. But of course walking back, that's in my mind, and I'm thinking I'm going to go to sleep in the next couple of hours. Maybe I should like demystify my mind right now. So I went to when I got to my dorm, I did my round and then I watched Korean dramas. Just to help with easing that, like, oh man, you know, I don't want anything jumping at me or like my mind to start playing tricks on me where I see something in the dark. So that was funny, but it did work, by the way. I watched Korean dramas and it helped. I want to say I was still in high school at this time. Yeah, I think I was still in high school. I forgot what year. Maybe junior year. A lot of this is happening around or near junior years for some reason. But anywho, it's late at night, dead of night. You know, me and my mom, we were sleeping, and then we heard our doorbell ring. And I'm talking about this was around 1 a.m. or even past 1 a.m. I don't think it was 2 a.m. yet, but yeah, we heard the doorbell ring and we heard someone pounding on our door. So we're wondering what is going on. And I'm like a little panicked because I'm thinking like, who's out there? Like, why are they making this much noise? What do they want? And I thought it was someone maybe trying to get into the house. I don't know why they would make noise, but you know, um, out of me and my mom, I'm the stronger of the two. So I'm like thinking I need to get myself ready for action if need be. Um, And so I was even hesitating going downstairs and like getting some sort of something I could use as a weapon, and getting ready to maybe call the cops or something. um, but yeah, we waited for, it felt like maybe 15-20 minutes. Just we were peeking outside our bathroom window. So our bathroom window upstairs, we could see whoever was like coming in. For the longest time we didn't know. They were still knocking on our door. They were still ringing the doorbell. And unfortunately, our um, like front door light wasn't working. So we couldn't even see illuminated who was there. It was complete darkness. And also our place was on an incline a bit. So it just adds to like there's shadows casting everywhere. So we really just couldn't see who it was. And then eventually they came out and they just stood in the middle of our walkway. And it seemed like they were looking up. I guess they were wanting to see if anyone had like come to peek out or something. I don't know. But the really bizarre thing is we couldn't see their face. Like, I could see the build a little bit, and we weren't still peeking out there because we didn't want them to know that anyone was home. Um, but yeah, we couldn't. Their face was completely shrouded in darkness. I couldn't even make out the silhouette. And I tried. I tried to go through my memory bank, think of anyone we know who might have that silhouette. I had a slight suspicion on who it might be, but I really wasn't sure. And I was like, why would they even come this late at night? That makes no sense. But eventually they left. And that was that. To this day, I still don't know who did that. I really don't. So yeah, that was kind of scary. This actually was very recent, as of earlier this month recent. I think I might have been watching something and it prompted me to think about my mom's elder brother who passed some years back. And, I was just wondering, like, about how, like, our loved ones might still be there, like, watching over us and everything. So, um, after I got up from what I was watching, I went to the living room. My mom was there. I asked her the question, Mom, do you ever think that um, Uncle Kofi is watching over us, watching over you? Before she could reply, the light in our hallway. So there's like a little lamp that I set up um, here in the hallway, and the light started flickering as soon as I asked that question. So in my mind, I mean, part of me was like, okay, that's interesting timing. And then the other part was like, is Uncle Kofi, Uncle Sammy like trying to, channel that energy and say, yeah, yeah, I'm watching over, like I'm here, I'm watching over everyone. Uh, because my mom was really close with her brother. Um, like it really took a toll on her when he passed away. Um, and so at that point I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is interesting. And it was only a few days later that I brought up the fact, because it was in my mind. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I was like, Mom, do you remember when the light started flickering when I asked you that question? Do you think it might have been Uncle Sammy, Uncle Kofi, like trying to say, like, he's here, and he's found peace where he's at. And I think that made my mom happy to kind of think about. So it was a touching moment. It was a nice moment. Now, I do want to preface that maybe the light bulb has been in that piece of the lamp. There's three lights, and it was the one light bulb that we just keep using because we don't need to turn all those lights on. We just use it one at a time. But yeah, it could just be that it was good timing and everything. But, it's interesting how that happened at that same exact time I asked that question. Um, and, I'm very much a believer of the paranormal, supernatural. I do believe there are things out there that we just can't explain. I'm also a healthy skeptic, too. You can see me trying to debunk all this by saying, it could have just been the light bulb's time and it happened to be then. I'm a healthy skeptic as well, but I do believe that there are things that just can't be explained by us or any tools or mechanisms that we employ. And I'm more than fine by that. There's a lot of wonder in this universe that, kind of makes life even more interesting and intriguing, in my opinion. It would be kind of boring if everything had an explanation. It would kind of make things dull. But yeah, what are some scary stories of your own that you have? Feel free to share. And yeah, let's keep this going.